Flat Earth Debate, uncut, no, live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to the channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by screen Neil, Refracted, who else in here? Essential, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo.
Camera doesn't work.
Must go over the video that Liam sent. We must go over that.
There's me worrying about my camera not working. I've done the introduction so many times that I'm like, okay, I want to see if I can challenge myself to get the camera working. Because this has happened before, right? Normally when the camera fails, I just think, oh, sod it, I'll just leave it on Flat Earth Debate background. And at the point that I recognise I'm not on camera, because I don't look away, right? I'm looking down the barrel of the camera. So if you're checking what's happening, you're not looking at the audience and you're not connecting with them. But at some point you recognise, oh, right, the camera's not working. So you're obviously looking away then and pressing buttons and fiddling whilst doing an intro that I've done probably thousands of times now. And I didn't manage it. Stupid filter. I'm just going to turn off the blur. Either buy a different camera that will actually do that effect with the lens, or, just not use it. In any event, what is this video that you speak of, Neil, that we must talk about? That Liam shared? What is it? Why the
Some lady about a bird proving globe Earth.
You have to give me a bit more than that, Neil. A bit more.
Well, she's putting up a flat Earth against a spherical Earth, constantly dealing in feasting nonsense ice walls and what we say, and she's got the pancake in outer space. But she does do some mathematics, some things on perspective that I've never seen done before, which is kind of interesting.
Well, give us a bit more detail.
I'm in the middle of doing an order, so I really can't.
How's everyone else doing?
I think there's an albatross in there too. Like that's her big win is the albatross. Proves
That's what I said. The bird.
Yeah, it's the albatross. Proves the Earth isn't flat.
Okay, tell me more. What? Albatross? It's like that scene in is it The Rescuers Down Under? And he's like, the mice are looking at the different birds that can come into land because the mice travel by bird. They get on the back of a bird. He's looking at his woodpecker, blue tit, albatross, because it takes up the entire page. As he knocks his drink over. Yeah, it's a huge bird, right?
Oh yeah, and because an albatross flies, Earth is a globe, I guess now, maybe?
Well, specifically, because the albatross is a big bird, it can only travel short distances. But as we apparently claim by Strawman that Antarctica surrounds the Earth like an ice wall, it wouldn't be able to cover the distances that we claim Antarctica to be.
Okay. Whatever. Right, I'm going to give up on my camera. I'm not going to get it to work. It's one of those stupid things where you challenge yourself to do something, and when you fail, you just feel like a complete failure. And I've had nothing but a string of failures today. So, all sorts of microphone-related failures that nobody wants to hear about. But I'm doing it because times are tough. my revenue dropped a little bit this month. So therefore, flogging microphones is something I'm going to be concerning myself with. And I thought I'd have another Beatles microphone win. So those of you who've been watching will be aware that I'm flogging a Beatles microphone that I bought because I thought it would be a bit of a worthy endeavour to gamble on a Beatles microphone. And it came thinking it would be broken. It's not. I put a video up of me talking and singing into it and then put it on eBay. And I thought, oh, well, why not? I'll try my arm again. Found another Beatles microphone, different type. And it's come today. And as soon as I took it out of the box, there's something rattling around in it. So I'm like, oh, no. Disaster. Plug it in. Damn thing works. It can make sound. It sounds all right. I don't know. I haven't really given it any critical assessment. But ultimately, it makes sound. You're like, oh, okay. So something's rattling around in it and it works. So sort of 50-50. Not going to be going straight back on eBay to potentially keep the lights on, though. So smash the super chat. My latest endeavour with a microphone's not going to be a win, which is a bit of a bummer. But there we go. Enough of my financial moans and woes. It started off with me thinking I won't try and e-beg to get a new upgraded microphone. And then in the process of trying all sorts of different microphones, I've ended up with a whole bunch of microphones that I don't want or need that I've now got to flog on eBay. And then kind of got into a rhythm of buying microphones. A couple have sold. I've gone, oh, maybe this could keep me ticking over as there's been a bit of lull in YouTube ad revenue. And why not? I've learned all this information about microphones. Why not turn them around? As soon as you have one or two losses, I had it previously with one that almost didn't turn up, but eventually did, which I've literally put on eBay today after a long while of having it. It's just like, all right, as soon as you get a loss, it's suddenly devastating. And in this instance, it's not like it's a massive amount of money. Again, I don't like to disclose what it is because I have got to flog the thing once it's hopefully getting fixed. It might not get fixed, in which case it is literally a bleeding paperweight. Anyway, frustrating it is. Hit me up on PayPal, smash the super chat if you do want to support this channel. YouTube definitely doesn't want to pay me a shit ton in ad revenue, though, at the moment, for whatever reason. I have no idea why. There's a particular endeavour to stop people talking about the subject at a point where there's a heightened interest in Flat Earth. But that heightened interest is in an individual leaving it, right? Jaren has drummed up a heightened interest. So therefore, that means for me, and I've seen this pattern many times, when things like this happen, you go, well, surely that would do your channel really, a lot of favours. No, it won't. The last thing you want when you're telling people, oh, no, you don't need to know, you don't need to believe the Earth is flat. Look, this other flat Earth believer's leaving, and he's coming back to his globe belief. Check it out. While I'm saying on a different channel, Earth's measured flat. This isn't an argument. It's not a debate. It's dealt with and measured, and there's no question about it. If I'm saying that while the idea and illusion that there is a debate about the nature of Earth in that regard, the sphericity of it or flat, if you're going to pretend there's a debate, there isn't one, like I've just said. So whenever things like TFE happen, I get more and more censorship forced upon me as the time progresses. You know what I mean? It's not like I get the wick turned up on my channel and it gets a bit of a boost because people are talking about Jaren leaving Flat Earth. No. That means that the kibosh comes down on this channel. But if you're amongst the lucky few who've found your way here already, you get to be the sleep easy people who don't stress about it. It's a Earth that's measured flat. Not a great deal you can do about that fact, but it isn't something you'll concern yourself with, is it or isn't it? Like we've been getting reports about Craig McNeil, who I mentioned on yesterday's show, more reports of the mental concern about his general well-being. And I'm not saying this out of any malice, or concern for that matter. I don't want you to take the wrong idea like I care. I don't care either way. I don't want Craig to be doing bad mentally. It just becomes an example in my show to say, yeah, you're going to stress about an Earth that's not measured spherically if you believe it is, because you can't demonstrate any evidence of that, and that will weigh heavy on your mind and soul eventually, because that's how your body and mind will eventually affect you and your health as an individual, and that's not somewhere you want to be. Well, I like the fact that I'm generally supported. Whether I'll cover my losses on my Beatles mic, I don't know. We'll find out. But either way, I'm supported by a community that presumably is grateful. I only assume this because they can sleep better. Now, I have, in years gone by, been told, not because of the reasons that I would like to attribute myself for this reason, but told that people are not losing sleep as a result of finding out the Earth is flat But when I say it, you can probably hear the slight hesitation in my voice, because that particular individual came to me at a time when I genuinely and sincerely believe he was probably just another flat earth believer. Now, that particular individual actually did get back in touch with me recently, like in the last year. I can't remember for what reason, but I do vaguely remember him getting back in touch and saying, "Hey, do you remember me?" Yes, I do. You're part of a story about someone tossing sleeping pills quite literally on camera over their shoulder whilst talking to me about this subject. I might as well just expand on the story, although it might give away who I'm talking about. Yeah, somebody just phoned me up. So this person uses the social media platform to contact me, and they use it as a video phone. So ring, I'm sat watching whatever on the iPad, suddenly it starts ringing. "Hello, can I help you?" "Oh, you answered," is the reply I get from a guy on the other end, and I'm like, "What do you mean I answered?" "Yes, you called me." "What do you want?" He's like, "I watch your show." "Well, that's lovely." It's like, "I really want to talk to you." "You are talking to me." It's kind of that kind of conversation, because I don't think this guy expected for 1 second that I'd just turn my camera on and be on the other end of a social media telephone call. It's like, well, why wouldn't I be? I'm just some dude. I happen to publish YouTube videos. That doesn't mean I won't answer the phone. I will. So there we go. This guy's telling me about how relieved he is to have come to the subject of flat earth, and how he now sleeps, get to the final actual point, as a result. And he showed me, I've got these pills, tosses them over his shoulder, says I don't use them. I can actually sleep, because my stress about the world and how it was a lot of it hinged on us ending in a heliocentric way. And he gave me his doom and gloom story that he was depressed and stressed about. So I'm like, oh, okay, interesting to very much make a impression on me about his mental well-being as a baller, and how that had been alleviated when he became a flat earther, because he wasn't as concerned about imminent death from above, the sky vacuum and the rocks and all this crap that they peddle. That's all garbage. And once you recognise there is no sky vacuum, there's no Narnia for meteors to come through and kill you through the door. That's not going to happen. There's no Narnia. Like the sky vacuum. Once you know that, you know that. Now, I say hesitate to say these things, because this was such a long time ago that I know this particular individual won't have been appreciating that Earth is measured flat like you, as I started this example with, the audience members I'm speaking to in the present tense, will appreciate. You'll come here to this channel, and in spite of the fact that the numbers have dropped, again, leading to the overarching point, which is why I'm flogging microphones to make ends meet, I don't care, I'll do it. I'll do it because I want to do this. This is the enjoyable bit, which is what I should have been telling myself before the anger and frustration about something that's not quite working correctly. Who cares? I get to be a YouTuber. Life's pretty sweet for me. I love doing this bit. You know, I went out of my way with a little bit of a bad back and a crick in my neck and annoyance at something that's bust to make damn sure that this show's going on, because it's the fun bit. I am the most privileged person on earth. I do a job that almost, I know, I'm going to put a percentage on it, I'll just be making it up, but a huge chunk of people would love to be doing. I'm very lucky to be able to do it. The fact that I haven't got to stress over the actual endeavours in the subject matter, that's whether or not Earth's flat, I know it is, so I can get on with the YouTubing bits. Ace, life's sweet. I'm cheering myself up now with my broken microphone. Anyway, that's the end of my waffle. That's my justification for talking about mics, for trying to make ends meet, for the censorship. If people are like, you're not doing well as a YouTuber, you're like, no, you have your ups and downs, and sometimes you do have to go out of your way to show your audience right, because you're grafters, the people who give me the money. This will come to a conclusion at some point, I promise, panel members. You people in the audience, you people, support me through your hard bloody work. Now, I know what hard work is. I've done it. I've done plenty of jobs that required physically hard labour and lots of effort and physical putting time in, and mental stress and hours and work. That's the people who give me the super chats. I understand that. You're not millionaires. You're not stupid rich people that can just afford to splurge money because it doesn't mean anything to you. Everybody's earned every dime that they give me, and I appreciate that acutely. Right? The same goes for all the people who contribute to the show. People are currently helping me doing the book. They're offering their time, their expertise, their know-how. It's all of very, very high value, and I appreciate it, every little bit of it. But as I said in the lead into this, when you go, I want to upgrade my microphone, I don't have any money to do it, what would I do in times gone by when my projector's broken and I need it to run the show, I'd e-beg for it. Is it crass to e-beg for something you've got that's functioning, you just want to be a bit better? Absolutely. So therefore you think, right, well, let's demonstrate to the audience that I can graft for a bit. I can physically put the effort in to dedicate extra time, because I'm always saying, oh, I've never got enough time. It's like, if you're desperate enough, you'll make time, right? To make ends meet, in this case with me flogging mics. And it just shows my audience, who give me money, this is the bit that's the brass tacks of it, right? That when it comes to actually doing a bit of extra graft to like giving myself a super chat, if you like, that's what I'm doing. Trying to turn something that costs £1 into £2. That's all I'm doing, just to show willing to the audience who generally support me with their super chats and their graft. So it's kind of my, look, I'll graft too when needs be, and for something that I just want. And why the hell shouldn't I want a nice microphone? You know, if anybody says, well, you shouldn't want a Neumann, piss off. I want a nice thing to work with. This tool that's in front of me day in, day out, I want it to be a freaking Neumann. But I'm not going to ask you to pay for it as an audience. I'll graft for it. And moan about the broken Beatles mic. Right, that's the conclusion. So that you can't moan because it's yet another day when I'm talking about microphones. I also point out that Earth is flat, it's measured that way, and anybody listening to me moan about mics knows that if they're a regular ear. There you go. That was a nice little package. Drop on you lot to hopefully react to if you haven't all buggered off and got a cup of tea. Start talking about what video we're actually going to be covered about some Albatross in a moment, probably, when I don't get a reaction.
You know, the funny thing is, we say it's measured flat. You know who else says that?
Everyone.
Everyone. Always. Without exception. Except for other flat earthers for some reason.
Not only do other flat earthers not say it, they lean into the ballers' use of it. I don't, it just makes no freaking sense. I don't know. The world we live in is a crazy...
Bizarro world, yeah.
Bizarro upside down world. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Why don't flat earthers embrace sea level, altitude measurements, angle measurements, mapping, navigation, charting, flying, sailing? Why aren't we embracing all of it? It's all ours! No, we allow the ballers to use it and argue about how we shouldn't see this far if we've got Earth curve. What the hell kind of world is this? It's bonkers. Flat earthers spend more time talking about bleeding Earth curve than your average Joe who believes he's on a ball. If you want to know about Earth curve, go listen to a flat earth for 25 minutes and you'll hear him talk all about Earth curve and what it should and shouldn't be doing. That shit insane world that we live in. Okie dokie. Right, let's do some presenting to you. Present something else. Window. How the Albatross, is this it? My God. Is this really what we're covering? Seriously? This is what we're doing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
click play.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Oh dear. This feels, I feel a bit dirty already. Okay, well let's get into it, I guess.
Heard many explanations to debunk the flat earth theory, but I bet you haven't heard this one. One of our videos was picked up by a flat earth YouTube channel and was made the topic of their daily discussion.
Who was it?
It is hard to believe that some people think
So, you are now going to suggest that you've got a flat earth, or is this just your lie about a straw man, or have you actually put a link to some flat earther that you've taken inspiration from so that you can help them in the YouTube algorithm that censors us? Yeah? I mean, let's have a scrolly scroll. Don't want to automatically assume that Math the World, which is what this channel is called, has not linked their use of some other person in the flat earth community's material to make an entire video out of it and, you know, get several thousand views. A couple of thousand. Doesn't look like it. Proof website. There's no link. Okay. Well, I will. So, in the interest of obviously being a reasonable YouTuber, and I, you know, the same token, I don't want to immediately pour scorn on this particular videographer, Math the World. I will, however, send some of my YouTube subscribers in your direction, which is to say I've now put a link to Math the World and this video in the YouTube live stream. So let's just show that on screen. So I encourage my live audience right here, right now, to go to Math the World and let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Now, there's 50 odd people watching. We haven't long been live. Oh, we have 20 minutes. Oh, man, that was a long old rant about microphones. Either way, if you're watching after the fact, or if the audience increases, I might do another shout out. But please do let Math the World know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, because we're going to be covering their video. It's not very long. We'll definitely plough our way through it in this live stream. But just share that YouTube algorithmic love that I went and searched for, given that they're suggesting they've covered a Flat Earthers material. Yeah, I came across this Glober called Math the World. Here's a link to that YouTuber, right? That's how it's done, right? Share the love. Anyway, the link you can see as a YouTuber, as a viewer rather, is winging its way by the YouTube live stream chat now. Please click on that link as a viewer. Go and tell him or her at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me.
Well, I think it's a good idea, but there's something about her saying flat Earth theory that just doesn't make sense, because we're not trying to explain how multiple hypotheses work together, or how tested experiment, like trying to explain the relationship there. Like, there's none of that going on. Why call it a theory? Is she trying to confuse this with science?
Never.
Maybe. I don't know yet. We haven't got into it. But based on that sarcastic tone, I'm assuming you've watched this and you know that's exactly the case.
Nah, I haven't watched it.
Not you, Liam.
But what's interesting is, though, she has a flat Earth newsroom with a sphere on. So she recognises the problem we do as well.
What's that? What's the problem I'm recognising?
That we identified earlier that flat earthers spend more time talking about the sphere Earth and the flat Earth.
Oh right, gotcha. Yes. Right, let's carry on.
Think the Earth is flat, honestly.
Hopefully you have actually done that as an audience. That is to say, go and tell them at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And in the meantime, now we'll start the actual video. So hopefully people have done that and now returned, and it will actually get into the video proper.
They can believe what they will, but our video actually wasn't trying to make any arguments that the Earth is spherical. We just assumed the Earth was spherical and did the corresponding math.
We just assumed our outcome. That's called begging the question. It's a fallacious set of logic. That's his lack of logic. Fallacious reasoning. It's not sound logic, faulty. Assuming one's outcome. I mean, I didn't go out of my way to prove there was unicorns. I just assumed that there was, and then started making the calculations about how their digestive system worked. So, here's my maths on the digestive system of unicorns, assuming they're real.
That might be okay, but I can guarantee you every single measurement she utilized was of a plane.
Oh, without question.
You've heard me. Without doubt or exception.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have some flat Earth measurements. I just like taking bets. I did this with QE. Normally, based on you can get a vibe for when it's coming, right? And on Ballbusters, I can't remember what we were playing, but we were playing something, and I'm like, let's take bets on how quickly they'll measure a flat Earth. And QE's like, oh, well, I don't know. It might be 10 minutes. It might be. And I'm like, everyone else doesn't say anything, but it's noted, obviously, that I'm suggesting at some point in the near future, I would suggest they'll use a flat Earth measurement. And literally, the moment he pressed play, the next thing that happened in the video was they utilised height measurement or something similar. I can't remember exactly, but basically hijacked the flat plane immediately. You could just sense it coming. Now, with this, I don't get that spidey sense feeling that we're about to immediately use a flat Earth measurement. But it seems that John's spidey senses tingled, and that alerts me that there could be a flat Earth measurement any moment, right? We'll see. Let's find out.
It must have been a slow flat Earth news day. So I thought, if they want to have a real video to discuss, I will make them one.
Oh, well, that's exactly what's happening here, because we're covering your video. So, I mean, what else can I say other than thanks, I guess?
In this video, we discuss a few mathematical evidences that the spherical model fits reality much better than the flat.
Models fitting reality. Ugh. That's a reification fallacy, right? We don't live on a model. Yeah?
Are we counting these fallacies because they're going to rack up?
I mean, I'm noting them. I don't know about counting them.
Earth model does. There is a really nice website that has put together a ton of evidences. If you are interested in tossing things to the flat Earth community to think about, the link is in the description.
So you're encouraging people to toss things to the flat Earth community. Now, I see that as projection, love. What you're actually suggesting is when you come across some awkward truth about how Earth is measured flat, you can go to this website to alleviate your pain and project it onto a third party. That's what you're actually saying. That's the fact. Now, you're new to this subject, or I don't know, maybe if you're not new to this subject, this is how this subject does get dealt with by everyone always. That is, you come across something that gives you an inclination that Earth might be flat, you panic, and then find a third party to project their flat Earthism as being wrong immediately. And that's what you're doing. And you're now suggesting others utilize a website to do the same where you're currently doing it. Because this is this individual videographer.
But in this video, I offer one new argument.
I don't know about new. There's nothing new under the sun. There'll be an underlying old argument to this, but let's just see.
I call it proof by Albatross.
Dun dun dun. Albatross, huh? Okay.
Now the black swan will eviscerate that albatross, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we're giving things birds names in flat Earth. It's already been done.
For an efficient heating system.
Yeah, black swan. Maybe you should look it up.
First, let's examine a few of my favorite globe Earth evidences.
Didn't she say earlier that she wasn't going to be evidencing the globe? It was just done by pure assumption. Did I miss that, or did I hallucinate it?
Flat Earthers
No, she
often
definitely
claim
said
that
it.
Well, she's just immediately talked about globe Earth evidence and then opened, next frame, flat Earthers. Ugh, that's a stereotype fallacy that you're employing. Immediately. There's not going to be a globe Earth evidence if you're going to tell me about flat Earthers.
the Earth rises to meet the level of the horizon.
I mean, this is a stereotyping fallacy. Give me a flat earther saying this, and then we'll go from there. But this is, again, I've already summarised what this is. You're pretending there's a third party saying this. You're saying it.
And she forgot the word appears.
Has got the word appears, did you say?
She forgot the word appears.
Appears to rise to eye level. Who cares? This is her. My point was going to be that this is her putting this out there. It doesn't matter which side of the flat earth debate. There isn't one, right? That's what people need to start recognising. Craig McNeil, he's the same as us. He's just some dude on the internet with a YouTube channel. Now, the fact that what he says is approved by the YouTube algorithm, therefore more popular than I, does not change that he is in the exact same boat as we. There is no difference. There isn't a different boat for ballers. We're all in the same boat. And when you, if you're a baller, project your concerns and fears about the Earth and its nature with suggestions like this, flat earthers say the horizon rises to eye level. Now, the flat earther on the panel points out, oh, well, if you're going to make that statement actually make sense, you'd introduce the word appears. That's to say the apparent position where the ground that you're rising above would meet the sky. That's the definition of a horizon. Appears to rise with your eye is factually incorrect because we measure it to dip. It's the ground, it's below you. So, no, but if we're to argue about how the world's measured flat, we would describe maybe dip correction in the process of correcting to a flat planar surface for navigation. That's an example in practical application of an Earth that's measured flat with a horizon. Okay? And that example requires a correction because the horizon's formed with the ground that is below you when you raise in altitude. Now, what I've just done as a flat earther is demonstrate to my audience, and indeed in rebuttal to this particular university student who dropped her seemingly sought-after accreditation from the university she attends into her videography, an exemplary summary of a practical application of the horizon in use with a flat Earth. What she is doing is projecting her concerns about the flat Earth as though it's a third party. I am not this third party. I've just admirably demonstrated an excellent sense of reasoning when it comes to a description of the horizon, accurately so. I am not this third party. Therefore, who else is there? There's me, and there's her. I'm not the third party that she says what she is misquoted by stereotype straw man. I haven't said it rises to eye level. I've corrected her about a practical application that proves Earth's flat, though, haven't I? For navigation, dip correction. Earth is flat. That's how it's being measured in that example, with the horizon. So no. So given that it's only her left, she's talking about this. She's concerned with this. There's no one else. It's like when people come in and start telling me about their example and how flat earthers think there's a molten iron core or think there's an ice wall. And nobody's mentioned a dome. So suddenly I make it their dome. Prove your dome. Oh, no. I wanted to straw man you, they say. I wanted it to be your dome that I quizzed you on. Well, there's only you and there's only me and I haven't said dome. Who has said dome? You. So it's your dome that you are concerned about. This horizon that this lady is concerned about is her concern. She wants to project it out, but she's now in the same boat as us. Doesn't matter if you stumble down that hill that I used to metaphorically describe it as. She's a flat earther with us, concerning herself like flat earthers concern themselves with the belief that they haven't justified with evidence yet when they say they're a flat earther, but just haven't proven it yet. Maybe they've come from a conspirator background where they didn't need any real proof, so long as they had a strong enough belief. And vice versa, if you're an anti-flatty and you had a strong enough belief in the globe, but suddenly you're not so sure. Projection is not the order of the day. Introspection is the order of the day, my dear. If you're worried about this, just say so. Just be honest.
However, if you extend lines that are parallel to the ground in a photograph or drawing,
then you'll be utilising a concept with respect to a surface of Earth that is not possible if you're a globe believer. Parallel? Now, given that we aren't familiar with you, my dear, we won't immediately chastise you, but if you're to now move forward and utilise this statement, practically applied in reality always, parallel, your eye level and surface level being an example of things that, in practical terms, with regards to Earth, which is what we're discussing, and telling you about, not debating, not questioning, telling you, eye level is parallel with surface level. That's a flat Earth. Prerequisite for measurement of Earth. Eye level. Okay? Altitudes, no different. But in this instance, you've just described this word that you don't get to use if you want to believe you are on a ball. You don't have parallel. Parallel to what? Your curved surface? No, you don't have that. Parallel to what? A plane of reference. What are you going to be referencing if you're on a ball? You won't. So you don't get to use these terms like parallel, my dear, thereas that being flat earthers, when we know Earth is flat, and just how quickly you'll get to that flat Earth prerequisite. Who had money on a minute and a half? It didn't take a long, did it? Parallel? You had parallel?
No. Never does.
I had £5 on it being altitude, so I lose that £5. Didn't take you long. See, we just see this as an amusement, talking to the videographer again. You're an amusement to us, a flat earther, me, and the people around me. How quick will she get to a flat earth measurement or prerequisite, in this case parallel? Yeah, pretty damn quickly, 1 minute 21 seconds, to be precise.
they consistently intersect above the horizon in the image.
Don't have a horizon on a ball either, but we covered that yesterday.
You can test this yourself. For example, I found a photo taken from a skyscraper in London.
You overloaded her mic. You need to nudge the gain down. How many sounds? 46,000 subscribers? She doesn't know how to set a gain control on the mic.
Where extending the window lines clearly shows them intersecting above the horizon.
So what? Meeting?
What?
Go on, Chocolate. You can have it. I've had several.
No, I'm going to assume this lady's a Glober.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm saying
The
no.
intersecting of the window lines and the skyscraper, somehow that proves globe.
Therefore,
Okay.
glob.
Okay.
Flat earthers dismiss this by claiming
No, it's you. I was about to say it, but I didn't want to interject it without it being 100% the case. Now you immediately give me that little lifeline so I can. Excellent. Yeah, as I said earlier, it's not a flat earther third party. It's you. Because there's no one else in the room. You're the one saying these things. Now, I'm more than willing to help you, but you're pouring scorn on us, aren't you? Now, I'm holding back. You know, I don't want to pour scorn on you, but you're utilising things like perspective in your descriptions. Now, your descriptions aren't really relevant to the subject unless you try and utilise a horizon that's below the surface level in the Earth curve maths that begs the question and hijacks perspective. That's to say there isn't any in it. But you haven't done that yet. But you're dangerously close to, and ultimately you're definitely airing these as your concerns. They're not ours. Just going to say this out loud, right? If you're in the audience and you're an anti-flat earther, you don't want it to be flat. Good for you, first of all. Feel free to believe it's a ball. No worries. But don't, number one, use our stuff. Don't use flat earth measurements to tell us it's not flat. But don't project your concerns onto us. Just got to stop. 10 years on, I can summarise this in a reasonably concise way. It's got to stop. These aren't, this isn't me. Right? You concern yourself about this. So just put it that way from now on. Don't tell me that it's my concern. Yeah?
claiming that atmospheric interference prevents
Atmosphere, that's an oxymoron. Atmo is air. Air being a mixture of gases. Gases move in all directions at a high velocity until they collide with the walls of a container. Sphere is a shape. You don't get oxymoronic sphere-shaped air. So no, this is nonsense. Go ahead.
Just to go ahead and move further into the oxymoron and where the idea comes from. As Nathan said, it's idiotic to assert that air has a shape. But further to that, all your calculations by and what was his name? Young.
Andrew Thomas
were
Young.
done- Andrew Thomas Young. Yes, thank you. They were all done with respect to a plane of reference. He says it in the very beginning of his study.
Yeah,
Stop using
Jordan
our
refractive
stuff.
curvature is referencing is the atmospheric refraction detailed in globe Earth terms by Andrew Thomas Young. And in terms of the actual study of refractions, two mediums, Snell's law withstanding, he describes the study as with respect to a plane. Like everything always.
us from seeing the true horizon that far out.
True horizon, should we add it to the list? There's no true horizon, there's just the horizon.
However, this argument falls apart in cases where a tall object is visible in the background. For instance,
For instance, what you've done, my dear, is mentioned perspective, it's pure projection, talking about things that presumably, if she comprehends, I can't read her mind, that things recede into the distance. She's then got, I can't see it because it's got, I'll just rewind it a little bit. Look in the bottom, it'll give values, but because of the scroll wheel thing, I'll have to show it with her talking. Well, let's just put the mute on the sound so you can see what I'm talking about. So down here, right, it's got values. And the 7 blocks, 8 blocks, 6 blocks, right? These crude, childlike descriptions of the height could also be ascribed in meters or feet, right? Now, typically, I wouldn't have to give this disclaimer because I wouldn't be getting blocks as the value. It's normally feet or meters, but that's a different story. But nevertheless, childish as it is to give these in this kind of crazy number, that number doesn't change with distance, right? So these values will be put through the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculations that I mentioned earlier by this videographer. And the values for the distant building, let's say it's 8 blocks. It's 8 blocks at 100 miles. It's 8 blocks at 1,000 miles. It's 8 blocks at 1,000,000 miles. It's 8 blocks at all distances because the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve mathematics does not alter the size of the target with distance in terms of its variation of apparent size. Yeah, that's perspective, basically. What it does is it keeps the value the same by making the mathematics of Earth curve orthographic. So the value for the building can remain the same at all distances, essentially removing and hijacking the effect of things reducing their angular resolution with distance and labelling the effects Earth curve. Meanwhile, that same mathematics requires, like all things, Earth be measured flat. I mentioned it earlier. Surface level and eye level will be, a word she also used, parallel. Earth will be and must be flat for this assertion that this young lady will now take you through mathematically. She will be proving a flat Earth as she moves forward, and I'll point out when she does it. Go ahead, John.
Well, she already did. She gave you the heights off something, didn't she?
Oh, of course she did. Did she? I don't know if she's given us the heights yet. She's given us it in blocks. So but at some point for this to work, yeah, she's got to give her height. Yeah, at some point. Let's just go through it. We'll get to it, I'm sure.
In Sweden appears to drop below the horizon as you approach Denmark. This observation alone challenges flat Earth claims.
Yeah, we haven't had any. Yeah, what claim did I make? Did I make any claim about this? No, this is a globe Earth claim. Right, again, pure projection. The globe Earth asserts that the horizon's Earth curve. And then it attempts to prove it by measuring Earth flat and your height above it, parallel eye level, surface level, and then suggesting that the Earth curve horizon resides below the surface level you just measured. It's idiotic and it hijacks perspective. It doesn't include the reality of things reducing in angular size into the distance. So this is your assertion. Stop telling us about your concerns about your Earth curve. In this case, your Earth curve maths that I, as a flat earther, understand inside out and back to front. It's also been debunked within the assumption that we do have an Earth curve, as you suggested at the beginning of this, that we would automatically assume that the Earth is a sphere. Okay, no worries. I'll do that also. But instead of fallacious logic being applied by you, that's begging the question, I'll take your begging the question and raise you and affirm in the consequent... No, I'm only kidding. Black Swan, modus tollens. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every distance to horizon measurement could be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's your Earth curve maths. Distance to horizon in the Black Swan beyond the physical limitation of a sphere Earth radius 3959. Therefore, the Earth is not a sphere. The horizon is an Earth curve. It was debunked in 2020. Black Swan. Now that's a bird with teeth.
But combining it with a perspective test?
There is no perspective test in
and an AK, and a sword, and many other weapons.
She's just said perspective test. There is no perspective test. There is no perspective in Earth curve mathematics.
Strengthens the case. Even when a
Strengthens the case? What do you mean?
tall structure is in view,
Sorry, now she's done it. Right, you were waiting for when she gave her elevation with a distance value in meters in this instance. Elevation, my dear, is the height off surface level, and it's parallel with your eye level. For you to measure the 100-meter elevation in the distance, you would require the Earth be flat between you and it, because you will utilize and can only utilize parallel surface level and eye level to make this assertion for an elevation in any example ever. You measure Earth flat. Now you get told off. Don't use our stuff. How dare you suggest that Earth isn't flat and then measure the bleeding height off a surface level? You insubordinate, ignorant child. Stupid little girl. Don't tell an audience of 46,000 people Earth is not flat and then measure 100 meters off it. You stupid little girl. Idiot. Did you think putting the university that you're in was going to make us somehow not recognise that you're measuring a bleeding flat Earth for this? You stupid girl. Didn't take you long, did it? 2 minutes into the video and you're full on measuring a flat plane of reference. Telling us Earth isn't flat. Strawmanning us with your bleeding concerns. About perspective that doesn't exist in your mathematics you obviously haven't studied. Ignorance is no excuse for your concerns you've projected onto me. It's a frickin' outrage.
Extended parallel lines still...
Parallel? Where'd you get parallel lines on a globe, you stupid girl? Now I open up with every bit of disdain I can, reasonably conjure without people realising I'm putting it on. You stupid little girl.
intersect above the horizon, showing that
You don't have a horizon on a ball.
this is not the limited sight distance that is causing the effect.
Distance? Let's see. Dangerously close to using flat Earth linear distances. Let's see if she does.
The spherical Earth model also predicts the effect that we see in this image.
You've got distances! What do you think this is? 25 kilometres, right? 34 kilometres. They're linear! Flat! You don't have curved distances in kilometres, you stupid girl. Don't use our measurements. How dare you assert that the distance in flat linear kilometres is going to debunk the distance in flat linear kilometres? Idiot! Why do these stupid little children, this idiot, ignorant girl, make videos about how a flat Earth linear distance in kilometres to a building measured with a height off surface level proves Earth isn't flat? It's utterly stupid! Are you retarded, girl? This is stupid.
This is where so many flat Earth claims fall apart.
No, this is you and your idiot claim falling apart. A flat earther, that's me, is ripping it to shreds based on its use of flat Earth measurements, prerequisites and declarations that you're using. You think this is you still representing the third-party straw man that you're trying to burn? This stereotype that doesn't exist. You're the only one talking, my dear. You and your idiot nonsense babble about a flat Earth linear distance measurement to these buildings with a height measured off surface level. You've got flat Earth proofsies in this, my dear. You're not going to do a very good job if the only measurements you've got in kilometres are flat.
The globe model gives very accurate predictions to experiments that the flat Earth model fails.
Both of these are flat. Are you blind? Are you nuts?
That statement just gave me a spasm. The globe model and experiments in the same damn statement. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're a bit rough on your mic, but yeah, I think I've got the general gist.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and say it for him. Why is she invoking experiment now? This has nothing to do with science.
Or gives much worse predictions for.
It's not a prediction. In science, predictions are hypotheses. They are cause and effect suppositions. They establish the cause of an effect by supposition. If A, then B. Not validated yet. Alongside it, you have a null, if A, not B. That's a prediction. If and then, hypothesis. Yet to be validated. Step 2 in the scientific method. Step 1 being observe a natural phenomena. It's the dependent variable in your suppositional prediction. The only other section is your supposed cause, yet to be varied, manipulated to see if it's validatable as the cause of the effect you observed at step 1. Ignorant idiot girl has put 2 flat representations of maps, called one a model and started talking about what? Hypothesis? Predictions? This isn't a prediction. You're an idiot.
Let's take view E from this image. The water appears about halfway up the building. Using the math of the spherical Earth, that is about what we expect.
Straight line. No. Don't draw a straight line.
Yeah, using a math
You
of
idiot.
the curved Earth. Well, in your curved Earth math, go and look at it. Look at the bit that specifically says surface level. So if you want to infer, because you're an idiot, that this mathematics debunked in 2020 with the Black Swan proves something, then it will prove the sections that are measured. In this instance, we've got distance and height. And height would be eye level, measured off surface level. Parallel as you depicted it and described it verbally. All of which unequivocally demonstrates beyond all doubt the fact of the prerequisite that Earth must be and can only be flat for any of this to work. If you don't have flat surface level for your height above it, like she's used already, then your maths for a globe Earth that you're appealing to fails. Earth must be flat for your stupid Earth curve mathematics, you idiot girl.
We can use the Pythagorean theorem like we used in a previous video.
No. Are you based on something running to the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth derived from minimum measurements of Polaris with an angle off a flat surface to mathematically create this ball you draw a line to the centre of and then have a giant massive building because you're so batshit insane that you think the real world view includes you seeing the side of your own head and a building that is so massive because obviously, as I've already pointed out, this maths doesn't include perspective. Yeah, love, hashtag shit shrinks and you don't see the side of your own head. This in no way represents reality because I never get tangential to the world that I am looking back on my own smegging soul from space that doesn't exist, at a building that hasn't changed size with distance. This is idiotic.
Assuming the Earth has a radius of 6,378.1 meters.
Well, number one, I've just pointed out that you get that measurement from a minimum angle to Polaris. It's where you also derive something called the equator. That minimum value giving you a 3959 radial value. You just said you assumed it. Now I'll go to a flat Earth measurement because it's dependent for you and your ball belief on having one. That would be a radial value, measurable and back engineerable into the angle measurements of the stars. In this case, Polaris-centric system that's derived with a maximum value and a minimum value. The minimum being the equator, giving you a radius value. That's a measurement of an angle off a flat Earth. You just want to suggest that you'd assume it. Now, you see, if you were here, my dear, you'd get shouted down pretty damn quickly. You don't just get to beg the question, what, by assumption? If you've already assumed that the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959, why have you even got to make a video? You've already assumed it.
Me.
Go ahead.
That 45 kilometers, I think it says, or 95, 45 or 95, I can't see very well. That's a straight line. That distance between the building and the observer that's there, straight line.
Yeah, she needs it to be because it's in kilometres. In the same way, even when she's got a ball on screen, she still needs flat linear distance measurements, doesn't she? Yeah, she does. Linear kilometres or miles. Yeah, flat Earth prerequisite. Yeah, flat distances that she thinks she can use. I've already told her off. But nice that you could point it out, even when she thinks she's dealing with a ball where you see the side of your own smegging head and a building that hasn't reduced in size at distance. She's still going to use a flat Earth prerequisite of kilometres. Yeah, what a bonehead. What an ignorant little girl.
And the information on the infographic, viewing from an elevation of 2.7 meters and a distance.
Yeah, 2.7 metres. What, parallel eye level with surface level measurement? That will require a flat Earth. Don't use our stuff. Especially don't use our stuff if you're trying to pretend the world that you've just measured flat isn't flat. You won't have a parallel eye level. You won't have a height above the surface level. Or sea level. You stupid clown.
Distance of 45 kilometers away.
Yeah, on a flat plane. It's a linear distance. Idiot.
We get that the horizon should appear to be at an elevation.
Should it? No, we don't have a horizon in this image. What you've got is a tangent point to a sphere, radius 3959. And if in this batshit insane world where we do have horizons formed at tangential points to balls below our surface level, then every distance to the horizon measurement could be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, exactly as laid down in your maths that you are utilising here. Distance to horizon in the Black Swan, circa 2020. Beyond those limitations that you're appealing to here, it was long since debunked. We've gone beyond that. Now we point out your maths needs a flat Earth. Surface level, kilometres, heights off a flat Earth. Who gives a crap where your maths, where you see the side of your own bleeding head, says it should be? Maths doesn't tell me where the horizon is, you stupid little girl. Does maths tell you where things are? Yeah, your globe Earth maths isn't gonna tell you where you are, where your horizon is, or how you view it when you're seeing your own bloody head. Do you think the world works like this? Yeah? You don't see the side of your own head, you stupid little girl. This maths is stupid. And it uses lots of flat Earth prerequisites like surface level and distances that are linear. And heights off a surface level. And parallel. Idiots.
Elevation
We'll
of
be
about
lucky to get to the Albatross
160
at this rate.
Yeah, all we've done so far is use a whole bunch of flat Earth prerequisites before I bleed an Albatross. Nonsense that won't be proving a damn thing.
meters on a building whose top is almost over 190 meters in elevation.
Off a flat Earth, you dimwit. Take that, flat Earthers. What? The flat Earth height measurement, you stupid girl. Take that. Take my disdain for a retard, you stupid little girl. Take that, where I beat you around with a flat Earth measurement. Take that metaphorically as I slap you around with a height above sea level. Take what? Your ignorance, you stupid little girl. No, take that. Take me metaphorically beating the living daylights out of you with a flat Earth height off sea level that you're using parallel with eye level. Don't use my stuff and I will have to metaphorically beat the living shit out of you. We all having fun?
I mean, if she has, I mean, she's got a dangling dingleberry, you know, got to take that into account.
Dingleberry Earth. I hadn't remembered that, but well spotted. Yeah, this is a dingleberry. Yeah. In case anybody's thinking, is he actually angry or not? Nah, not really. I'm hamming it up for a good reason. Why am I hamming it up? It's on screen. Take that, flat Earthers. No. What you're doing is using our stuff and then saying, take that. Take what? Our stuff back that you're using? Heights off surface level isn't a take that, flat Earthers moment. It's a moment where I will over-egg it as much as I humanly can. My disdain for you. Because it's realistically your projection. I've already covered this. This is you saying this. Take that, myself, and how dumb I am about how Earth curve mathematics works. Yet she knows she's ignorant, but it doesn't feel that way if she can project it onto a third party. Well, guess what? I'm that third party now, aren't I? And metaphorically, I'm slapping around a dumb bitch with her stupid-ass assertions that when I measure a flat Earth, it ain't flat. Yeah, well, that's going to get met with righteous indignation from a flat earther you're pretending that you're talking to by a stereotype third-party fallacy that isn't in existence beyond your own projection. But when there is actually a flat earther being told how what? Take that, flat earthers, I can measure my height. Oh, flat Earth. Yeah, well, you'll get back what you're putting out tenfold. Because you think this is, look how stupid I've made you look, flat earthers moment. No, it's I'm dealing, me, the flat earther Nathan Oakley, with a spastic, a little girl who hasn't done any research, who put the name of her university on screen so that everyone thought she was smart and clever. And yet she used linear distances and heights off surface level. What a spastic. Take that, spastics. You understand me, Glober? Just let me finish. Globers, I'm talking to you. That's why I do what I do, and the way I do it when some people say, oh, don't swear. No, there's a good reason for it. This is it. Breaking it down in the most basic terms I can. I'm dumbing it down for everybody to take in. She wants to metaphorically slap me around with this. What's this? A flat Earth measurement. But she wants to tell me off Look at the little exclamation mark she's put on it. Yeah, well, I'm going to turn that exclamation mark into a metaphorical big old fat slap round her chops. Yeah? With a big fat wet fish. Slap, 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 slap. Round her face with a big fat fish that says, Earth's flat, you stupid cow. Do you mean take that? Now take my flat wet fish around your face. How dare you? Now, we've dealt with this shit from idiots like her for 10 years. Take that, flat earthers. No. Now it's going to come back at you with as much venom as I can muster. And I'm going to call you a dumb twat. Because that's what you are, love. You're a dumb twat. Yeah? Now, if you didn't want to get called a dumb twat, don't write things like take that, flat earthers. Because metaphorically, you're representative of every single stereotypable globe earth dick that I've met in the last 10 years who wants to take that, flat earthers, to me. Well, you don't get to do it anymore, you stupid cow. You get told off for using my stuff. And you take that, flat earthers, exclamation mark, gets turned into a metaphorical flat fish slap around your dumb face. I'm done. Go ahead.
Tell me why she needs a flat plane.
Tell me why. Oh, I thought that was going to continue into a little number. Clearly not.
We haven't accounted for
Say no, Nathan. We will take that because you're just describing how Earth's measured flat. Yeah, we'll have that.
That was the rats, right? Tell me why I don't like flat fish, right?
atmospheric refraction at all. So our estimate is high, but much more accurate than the flat Earth estimate of 0 elevation.
Ugh.
One of the challenges...
She's saying?
She's using flat Earth 0 elevation. Yeah, you'll need a flat Earth for that. Both of us will. You will, I will. You're saying mine fails. You're using the 0 elevation to make your suggestion.
It's the way she said it, though. Like, that our estimate's high, but it's better than theirs. Like, okay, lady.
Face is to answer the question, if the Earth isn't modeled well by a globe, what is a more accurate model of the Earth?
No, that's the question that they want you to ask as you suddenly enter into this realm of flat earthism, which is what you're in. It's the boat I metaphorically put you in with us. Yeah? That's the question they want you to ask. If the globe model isn't a good enough model, what's the right model? Here's a flat model straw man that you can burn so that you can make your way back to the globe model, which definitely works a bit better than the globe model you just burnt. Meanwhile, everyone measures Earth flat in all instances for everything always. Who gives a shit what your model does? It's a false dichotomy fallacy that the people that you have researched have led you to believe is somehow going to lead you on the right path. No. If you want to find out what Earth is in terms of the way it measures, measure it. Or lean on the practical application up until now. How has Earth been measured to date? How's it been mapped, charted, flown over, built on? Look at those things. And you'll quickly find out that Earth's flat always for everyone in every practical example. You could find the reference on page 89 when you're looking at these things that you clearly haven't because you're ignorant and lazy, that they say, but it's only being measured flat because it's a really, really, really big ball that we're not measuring any curve from. We will measure it flat and level it, obviously, but that's only because it's a really big ball. Yeah, you can do that. And that might reaffirm your belief in a ball. But just know this. All measurements of Earth always are flat. For example, you giving us your distance, you giving us your height, and you telling us how high a building in the distance you're looking at with parallel eye level and surface level is. So, as a simple example of everyone always measuring Earth flat, you did it, you batshit insane cow that hasn't done any research. Take that, globe dick.
You're restoring my access to the HR portal, right? Compliance report.
Also, anything that they perceive to be a win for the globe is only because it's projected from a flat plane. That little globe she had in that image had latitude lines all around it and longitude. Where do you think they got that? You know,
by measuring the Polaris. We did cover that.
You know, it's like, you know how I say welcome to Flat Earth Snacks in the back? It's like they're already having the snacks in the back, and they're still telling us that it's a globe. Like you're eating our snacks, and you're telling us it's still globe. I don't like that shit.
I don't know either. But like I say, back to the microphone saying we've got like 80 people watching, and typically this show gets 100, 120 people. And if we're covering the CGI of Antarctica and speculating like conspiratards, we'll have 200 watching in recent history. But at the moment, because we're talking like we typically do on a general average day on Flat Earth debate about Earth being measured flat and some numpty dickhead baller that's telling you us, take that, Flat Earthers, while she uses Flat Earth measurements, we've got 80 people watching. Yeah? Lower than normal. Yeah? Censored to all crap. If you just point out Earth's measured flat, I've not even got a contentious example. I'm using her example, right? So we've got the kibosh on us. Currently, it's worse than ever, actually. Like, more noteworthy than typically. Normally, yeah, it's the fair path of the course. We get censored. I don't normally drone on about it, do I? Well, at the moment, it's worse than ever. I don't know why. I don't know what we're doing right, but it makes me want to do it more.
Now, we can use both models, the globe and the disc.
These are both flat. They both have latitudes on them. They're both requiring flat Earth measurements of Polaris, you stupid little girl.
See which one is a better
I
predictor
can
of
hear
reality.
you're losing patience, Nathan. We want our measurements back for good.
We don't need to reclaim them. Earth's always measured using them for everyone always, and there's nothing to reclaim. It's just an appreciation. Now, from there, you can say, oh, I must take that appreciation to the masses. Why? Why? If you know Earth's flat, get on with your day. If you want to debate it, buy my book when it comes out. Keep the lights on, stop me having to buy and sell microphones because of the crappy numbers and shitty ad revenue. Or just
No,
smash
I'm
the
just
super
trying
chat.
to sneak in Take That references, but I'm guessing you're a Westlife fan then?
I like both Take That and Westlife, mainly because I dated a lot of girls and they liked going to concerts, and I would more than happily go to a Westlife concert with a girl. Yeah, I love Westlife.
You're gonna need a horizontal plane for Westlife, mate.
They walked on a horizontal platform into the audience, if my memory serves me of my Westlife concert experience with, I'm sure, a very fine young lady.
Yeah.
What was the Take That reference just before we get there, John? Oh, he's not going to tell us. It could have been magic. Oh, well.
There are all sorts of problems.
The thing I was going to say,
Go ahead.
The thing I was going to say was the two projections that she just put up. One was a projection of a projection. Guess which one that was?
Mercator.
Yeah. The flat Earth model, as I do the hooks of my fingers, is a projection of a projection. The globe, doing my hooks with my fingers, is a projection from a flat plane.
Right.
Does she really think that a projection of a projection is going to compare to the projection?
Right.
With this flat Earth map, like explaining
It's not a flat Earth map. Ugh. That is a North Pole-centric, azimuthal, equidistant globe projection. That is not a flat Earth map. Ignorance.
viewing angles of the sun from around the world that don't.
Game, same crap. This is her concern. This idiot notions of heliocentric orbital motion with eclipses and flat disks. Ugh. It's like she's just straight up gone to Google, typed in "is Earth flat" and read out the first 2 or 3 results.
Well, she said viewing angles.
Yeah,
if you're talking about celestial bodies. Where you get an angle on a curved surface.
You'll need a flat
Yeah,
Earth.
once she says angle, she's dead.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at
Come
all.
on, guys. Have a little patience.
Don't fit at all in this model, or why all the Earth isn't lit all at once by the sun. I think it is entertaining to see how flat earthers try to get around things like that. For example, claiming that the sun is only 32 miles in diameter.
I'm just going to spin on
Flat
to
earthers
the,
would
to the Albatross
but
bit.
it's actually a shorter flight than to Zurich. Let's end with my new argument. It has to do with science.
Right, I got to take this as a screenshot. Right, how can I make this big? I sod it. I'll screenshot it after the fact. I'm having that.
scientific data on the largest flying birds in the world, the albatross. Many problems.
Just because it's soup season doesn't mean your teeth will be less sensitive. Hot food and drinks can trigger teeth sensitivity, but luckily, Colgate Sensitive Instant Relief can relieve it.
Well, that's really good to know. The advice.
Since she's going to be using a bird, do you think she's going to detail the lift effect and how that necessitates a horizontal?
No, I doubt that highly. She'll just hijack our stuff.
Deal with
but
the
she does
area
speak
that
about
most of us
flights a little later.
refer to as the southern hemisphere. In the flat Earth map, points in the southern hemisphere get spread apart.
Okay, southern. That's an actually utilizable direction with respect to a plane. Hemisphere? No, the only hemisphere is the modelled projections of the stars and their angles. North Pole centric, azimuthal in the case of this globe projection that you're utilising, is based on prerequisites of flat Earth measurements of angles to stars. Now that can produce a hemispherical view in the celestial hemispherical view with respect to a flat plane. That is then what is used to project a globe or produce a globe. That globe then gets projected onto either the Gleasons or I don't know what they call that. The Gleasons that's sort of ovally shaped like a football, American football. That's got it's not called the Gleasons. It's not called the I've forgotten the name of it. It'll come to me. Whatever she juxtaposed with the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection, right? That's what those are. They're projected from the globe that's been projected from the flat plane that John described, 5 minutes ago?
And Antarctica is a giant wall of ice surrounding
No, you're now making that claim. I don't claim that. You're now claiming that.
the entire known Earth.
No, that's what you're suggesting.
This made me wonder about the amazing wandering albatross, one of the albatross species that's famous for its incredible journeys circumnavigating Antarctica.
Sorry, hands up. How many people here or in the Discord server have heard of the famous albatross circumnavigating Antarctica? Is that absolutely nobody? It doesn't seem that famous, love. I think you're making it up.
I've heard the
on
song
a
by
flat-
Fleetwood Mac, but they didn't mention any flying birds in Antarctica.
What song
It
by
was an
Fleetwood Mac would
instrumental.
that be? You're not talking about...
Say again?
Which song would that
Gimme.
be?
I think he means Pink Floyd.
Possibly. Some 80s song.
Okay, but no mention of famous Antarctic circumnavigating albatross. Okay?
Not
Flat
that I
Earth map.
recall, no.
Okay.
The distances would be
I think that is literally, that's it. That's the substance of her video. Her video is to suggest that an albatross flying around an Antarctica that's not an ice wall on an azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection. That's her evidence. That's it. That was what she had. This was a massive disappointment.
astonishingly long. Let's do some math and find out how amazing these birds must be, according to flat earthers.
I can't quite. I'm slightly speechless. I'm a bit lost for words.
Oh, she's getting ready to do some math. I mean, she's going to be pulling the flat Earth out every second.
Bird math, mate. Bird
Let's
math.
say a circumnavigating wandering albatross took this path, staying on this latitude line.
Oh, yeah.
What's a latitude line? Oh, you're going to need a flat Earth for that. To make that system work, you're measuring Polaris. Oh, God. Ugh.
To figure out this distance, I need a scale for the flat Earth map.
Not a flat Earth map.
There were two grid intersections here, and found the distance between those to be about 2,300 kilometers.
A flat linear distance.
In GeoGebra, the distance is about 0.69. So every distance of 0.69 converts to 2,300 kilometers. Now, between two grid intersections on the Albatross path, the GeoGebra distance is about 1.18. That converts to a distance of 3,941 kilometers.
Okay.
All flat.
All flat, yeah. I think we're done. Is there anything else in this video that we especially need to cover? I think we've covered the main bits.
Oh, come on. You got to give her a mathematical conclusion.
Let's
Of
just see
flat.
this. Oh, here we go. This is it.
Achieve such speed? Well, they can't. The top recorded speed for a wandering albatross is about 72 kilometers an hour, far below the 142 kilometers an hour needed in the flat Earth model.
What? What are you talking about?
Is there a flower model for Albatross? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
Yeah, you're hearing it right.
This is sort of like the fuel, that same thing with the fuel. The amount of fuel that was purchased. That's what it sounds like to me.
It's an Albatross.
Similarly, the farthest documented single-day journey for an albatross is roughly 1,000 kilometers, half of the daily average required for the flat Earth albatross to complete.
Okay, prove it. Show me this albatross. Show me it circumnavigating Antarctica. Prove that it's travelled the 1,000 miles linear distance with respect to a plane.
Complete 94,595 kilometers.
What good would it do for her to show you it flying over a flat plane, Nathan?
Well, I don't trust that this albatross exists or that it's circumnavigated Antarctica. I mean, in terms of the Earth being flat, every distance utilised as far has been flat. Every measurement has been flat. So there'd be no point really. I mean, I'm just questioning whether or not this albatross exists rather than whether or not it's a legit, maths for mathing a ball. It isn't. It needs a flat Earth for it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Even if she showed it, it would still be over a flat plane.
Right.
It's like, like the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Yeah, great. You done wonderful. Flat plane required.
Only black albatross can do that, says Unitox Femi. I'm a black albatross. I can do that.
And Albatross was made by
Black.
one day. Thank you very much.
Kilometers in 46 days. In reality, the tagged albatross that circumnavigated Antarctica logged a total
There was a tag on it. Okay, that's interesting.
distance of 21,000 kilometers,
Linear, flat.
closely matching the latitude line I used on the
Linear, flat.
globe Earth model.
No. The globe Earth model came from the flat angle measurements to the stars that created it. North and south centric, creating two hemispherical views of the stars over flat planes, sandwiched antipodal, to then project the globe.
This is only about 1/5 of the
These are projections from that globe.
flat Earth map's
As John put it, projections of projections.
predicted distance, but it aligns perfectly with the globe.
No, it doesn't.
The discrepancy between these numbers highlights the flaw in flat Earth calculations and emphasizes
What flat Earth calculations? Nobody's calculating distance anything other than flat.
how well the global model fits
What
real
globe model? You haven't shown one. You've shown lots of flat projections of globes that came from concepts measured flat, like angles to stars.
world data. Well,
Just delusional, right? This is in her mind. This is the tail end of the false dichotomy, isn't it? We've covered that already.
Well, she's got that little image of debunk this. I believe that's what we just did.
Yeah.
When you took a
And told Roth.
Maybe you should put your picture in that for that little stick there.
What year was this video? Anybody know?
It was very recent. Within this week.
Well, I'm going to be encouraging people to go along and actually spam this videographer with the fact that we had covered their video today. So, as you can probably see, I'll put it up on screen. There is a link going by to this videographer now. So if you're amongst the 90 people watching, please let Math the World Know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Don't necessarily point out that I told her off for using our stuff. She can find that out when she gets here. But she's putting it to flat earthers, telling us to debunk stuff. No worries. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've also pointed out how much of a flat earth you would have to have used to make any of the assertions. But please do let Math the World know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get eradicated by the YouTube censor bots or the videographers themselves. The idea being that were Math the World to respond and address how parallel Earth won't be in a response to me, she'd put a link to my video, helping me along in the YouTube algorithmic love and support that I definitely don't get from YouTube themselves. So yeah,
Maybe
please let her know. Go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe if she's really good, she can meet one of these other anti-flat earthers and they can explain to her how planar surveying proves that you're not surveying a plane.
I find interesting that people could not circumnavigate Antarctica yet, but Albatross, yes. But people know. You must be a bird to do that.
Okay, right, still can't get my camera to work, but either way. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels. But if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. But if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, bailed me out on PayPal, propped me up with all the crappy views and ad revenue that I'm currently getting on YouTube, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley once again. Stay tuned if you're watching on an after show, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely